Tanzania's decades-old policy of banning the return of pregnant girls to its schools was overturned last November by President Samia Suluhu Hassan. The nation's previous administration had strengthened its commitment to the rule in 2017. This prompted two rights groups to file a case in 2019 at the African Court on Human and People's Rights, challenging the ban. While an exact date for a ruling is unclear, a decision on the case is expected soon following the submission of a joint brief by three human rights organizations that have shared their expertise on the matter. Human Rights Watch, one of the three organizations, believes a clear legal ruling will have a positive impact across Africa on a woman's right to education. They think it could also help repair the damage done by a permanent loss of education and end the stigma and discrimination pregnant girls faced when they were expelled from schools. Prior to the reversal of the ban, data from the World Bank showed that every year approximately 6,500 girls would drop out of school in Tanzania, mostly because of pregnancy. In a similar case filed in 2019, the Court of Justice of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, ruled that a 10-year-old ban in Sierra Leone was discriminatory and ordered the government there to revoke it. Isaac Lukando, SABC, Dar es Salaam.
Joseph Moses Oleshangay is a human rights lawyer and activist. He joins us now to talk about this. A very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us. So it's obviously been a landmark case, but one asks themselves this question: why would have Tanzania sought such a discriminatory ban, given the fact that it ratified in 2003 the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child?
Okay, thank you very much for having me here. And it is really unfortunate that we have been subjected to that process. It is not only that Tanzania has subscribed to international treaty protecting the welfare of the child. It also has in its constitutions provisions in the Bill of Rights guaranteeing protection of human beings, equality, and others. So what does the former Magufuli presidency perceptions on the young mothers means? It means segregating them because of who they are, in my opinion. And I think it was violative to our own constitutions and violating to international treaty. So it was really of a personal initiatives, and we do not have so much of the strong institution to ensure that the opinions of one person now leading the country is being subjected to law. So the really problem was we are not really a country of rule of law, and that was the gist of all the problems that has led to filing the case in the regional courts.
Was it just a case, and perhaps this is the more pertinent question, how does it become a matter of rule of law if we're talking about the loss of the lack of attainment or lessening of attainment of education for the girl child? How does it become a rule of law issue? And is it more reflective of a society that has conservative attitudes towards women and girl children?
Okay, I said about the rule of law because we have the constitution that guarantees their protections, but their right has been violated almost at will, with impunity and everything. That's why I said it is really about the rule of law. But yes, we have a society that thinks maybe women's, and in that particular case, the girls do not have equal rights with the boys and men. So we are really a society with a more patrilineal society. We're having serious institution rooted in a men-dominated society, and that has led not only like segregating them in a normal life, but also the government participating in undermining their rights, because the leader we have has roots, and so much of their opinions toward many issues is being influenced by the society that sees women as maybe undeserving to enjoy some rights, and in that particular case also means the girls different from boys. And even Tanzania, that's almost seen in the normal life, that even enrollment into schools, the men are the boys are enrolled in a better way than compared to girls, because the society think they are the one who comes and help the family, so to say. So that is why actually I was saying about it has some sense of the rule of law. We do not respect our own constitution and the treaty that we have committed to as a country.
Let's focus on that for just a minute, because just the whole legislation actually speaks to much deeper underlying issues. And when we talk about the rule of law and looking, for instance, at teenage pregnancy, it looks at the issue of sexual violence against the girl child. And there's also the safeguarding of sexual and reproductive health rights for the woman or girl child as well. What is the culture there, and is the rule of law being upheld in this regard?
Oh, it is not at all. Actually, the rule of law is being undermined. And to put it the other way is, in Tanzania, we have the law that states, for example, impregnating a girls below age of 18 is rape under Tanzania statutes. But now what the government was doing is to punish the victim of rape. That's the other language of saying it. So other than helping them to ensure that now, one, they are victim of rape, and in that particular case, because they are underage in most cases, because we are referring to primary school girls and secondary school, or in most cases are under 18. But now we are punishing them, not only them, including now the kids expected. So yes, I was saying about we are undermining not only the rule of law, but their welfare and their future as young mothers, as the future, maybe breadwinners for the family, and also undermining now the real innocent individuals as a baby now expected to be born or was been born during the school times, because the mother will be expelled from schools. And even today, they are not in their formal education system. So the same mindset, of course, with Magufuli, is almost ongoing, despite the fact that the government is now.
This is what I'm wondering about, Joseph. This is what I'm wondering about, Joseph, that even though discriminatory order has been revoked, is there anything in place that the government will use to ensure that public schools and private schools do not turn away pregnant girls or mothers who want to attend their schools?
Okay, in my opinion, the government is really doing little to ensure that they come back to school after pregnancies. One, they actually come with a project saying they will be enrolled in special schools, not in the normal education systems, like enrolling them in the college, not different from the normal channels in Tanzania, which otherwise teaching them the very basic life skills, not like a formal education sector. So which otherwise they will not be having an equal education like the boys or the girls who was not subjected to that process. So yes, while now under the pressure, because actually is the result of the pressure so much externally, the government is really doing so little to ensure that they come back to sanity and look like these are the victims. They were not really consulting adults like they were participating in that process. They were forced to it, and therefore they should not be punished because it is not their crimes. So in my opinion, while something is being done, but it is not enough, because enrolling them in another different education curriculum, different from the others, it also means segregation, which is not right.
What are the prospects of, as you say, it's clear that they're not coming back into the system, pregnant young girls or adolescent mothers? I think the WHO puts the figure at something like 6,500 young girls who leave the school system every year in Tanzania. What happens to them?
It means so much. It means maybe their future is being threatened, and this is the fact. It also means now the kid they bear, because, and as I always said, if it was a rape, then the father may have been in prison. But now punishing the mother by expelling her from schools for the crime she never consented, which otherwise it means the right to access the resources in the future with little education or not education at all, if it is maybe from the earliest days of her education. It also means the economy inability to access the resources in the future will be impacted. So which otherwise it means marginalizing women in large extent, because as we said, the figures are so high, as you stated from the WHO and others, and those are just official. So it means their future as human beings who has the right to access resources, good economy to sustain their family in the future will be impacted. And that will affect them as individuals and also affect their future families. And therefore will lead to poverty, marginalizations, and otherwise it means women will be continuing being marginalized, which is not right. We need to do so much as a society to ensure that we address that inequality.
All right, thank you so much for speaking to us.